There's something tender and terrifying about Psalms 51. It's not just a prayer, but it's a confession from a man whose soul has been shattered by his own choices. And that sounds a lot like a lot of us. David, once a celebrated man after God's own heart, is now exposed. No crown to hide behind, no applause to drown out the guilt, just simple failure and grief. A desperate cry for mercy. He had seen Bathsheba from his rooftop, and he acted on impulse. Knowing she was married, he abused his power and committed adultery. And then when the consequences began to surface, he orchestrated the death of her husband Uriah to cover it up. For a time, David tried to move on, but God, in his mercy, sent the prophet Nathan not to condemn, but to confront. Nathan told a story that pierced David's heart, and when the truth hit, David didn't deflect, he didn't defend it, he simply broke down. He said, "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love." Not based on what he deserved, but based on who God is. So I ask you, is there a part of your story you've been afraid he cannot redeem? You're not alone in feeling that way. Sometimes the parts of our stories that carry the most shame or silence seem too messy for mercy, but those are often the exact places God wants to begin his healing work. What you've hidden in fear, he invites into restoration, not to punish, but to prove that his grace is stronger than your deepest regret. David didn't stop at confession. He pleaded for cleansing. He said, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a right spirit within me." He longed not just for forgiveness, but for transformation, to be new, to be whole, and to be restored. So ask yourself, if God offered to restore one part of your life today, what would it be, and would you accept it? That kind of offer from God isn't just tender, it's transformative. What part of your life still aches for redemption, even if you've learned to live with the wound? Sometimes we hesitate to accept his restoration because we fear how deeply he'll have to reach. But he only reaches that deep because he plans to heal it all. David also recognized something deeper. He said, "You desire truth in the inward parts." This means God doesn't want performance. He wants authenticity. It's easy to curate a version of ourselves that looks acceptable to others, well-spoken, well put together on the outside, but God isn't fooled by appearances. And thankfully, he isn't deterred by what's beneath them either. The very things we hide out of fear or shame are often the places he's most eager to meet us, not to expose us, but to embrace us. Then David shifts and says, "Then I will teach transgressors your ways." Out of brokenness comes a ministry. Out of failure comes a testimony. This isn't the end of David's story, and it doesn't have to be the end of yours. We often think that our broken places disqualifies us, but in God's hands, they become holy ground. What you've survived, what scarred you, what you've handed over to the healer, it all speaks volumes to someone who hasn't made it through yet. Your story might be the map they never knew existed, guiding them toward hope, restoration, and towards the one who makes all things new. You don't have to be healed and whole to come to God. Just come towards the healing. Just be willing. Restoration is not reserved for the perfect. It's promised to the repentant. God doesn't despise a broken and contrite heart. He wants us to come to him. So don't rehearse the shame over and over in your head. Receive mercy, because David found it. You can too. Be blessed.